I'm going to teach you how to solo over any chord progression and sound good doing it without learning any theory, or at least without learning any new theory. It's a simple 3-step process, and it's what I use to this day, 18 years later, when I'm learning to solo over a new chord progression. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you 3 exercises that will help you make your solos sound professional and unique. I'm Jake Galambus. I run Guitar Gym Pro, where I help adults learning guitar or getting back into it make real progress so they can have fun making music. The first of our 3 steps is finding target notes for our progression or song. I know that sounds like theory, but it isn't. Let me break it down for you. We're going to start with a pretty simple chord progression as we're learning this idea. We're going to play C, D minor, G, and then C. The first step is to play the first chord in our progression, in our case, a C. Those notes are our target notes. Those are the notes that we want to land on as the band, the backing track, whatever we're playing with, lands on or starts playing that C chord. We know all those notes will sound good because they're in the chord, so it makes sense when we're soloing, we would want to land on one of those as the chord is changing. Now, landing on a chord tone or one of these notes as the band or the backing track gets to that chord is what makes it sound like we are in the progression and we're not just running scales over the top, but instead playing a solo over a song. To make this even easier, we can pick exactly what note we want to land on for each chord. So let's go through our progression and do that. For the C chord, I'm going to land on this note here, first fret of the B string. For the D minor chord, I'm going to land on the 3rd fret of the B string. For the G, I'm going to go ahead and land on the 3rd fret of the thinnest string. And then for this C chord, I'm going to go back to my original note C. Second is you're going to choose a scale to use to connect the notes that you decided on. You can Google what key is and insert song there. Then you can just use the major or minor pentatonic of whatever note came up. That said, I promised you no theory, and if you don't know your major and minor pentatonic scales or where to start for that, you can just start looking at the notes that are in our chord shapes that we're playing and average around playing those. And even if you play a wrong note, landing on a chord tone will make your wrong notes sound right. Let me demonstrate using something like the chromatic scale or making all the notes available, but landing on the notes for the chords. Step 3 is to now use the notes from the scale you've chosen to connect the notes from the chord that you've decided to land on. Let's give it a shot using our C major pentatonic scale. But what if our chord progression is more complicated than that? Let's take a more complicated chord progression and try it out. We'll start with a C, then we'll go to a G, G sharp diminished, then we'll go to A minor, then we'll go to F, sus2, we'll go to E, we'll go to A minor, we'll go to G, and then we'll end on a C chord. Now, remember, I'm just going to land on one of the notes in my chord, whatever my chord is, as I am getting to that chord. And then I'm going to connect it with, I'm going to use the C major pentatonic scale and really just my ear to explore. Here's Here's how we take this idea to the next level. First, if this lesson is connecting with you, I want to invite you to join me for free at skool.com/guitar, where I have a course and community available for you, and you can have direct interaction with me to ask questions and get answered to make sure you're on the right path for guitar. Here's how we take this idea to the next level. Make sure you let your solos breathe. As guitar players, we don't have to breathe as we play our instrument like a horn player or a singer would. And so often we get to just running scales and we just keep going. Make sure you take a breath in your solo. Instead of running and running up and down scales. A great way to do this is to actually take the rhythm of a melody from a song that you like and kind of hum it in your head as you play whatever scale that you're doing. So let's take Crossroads by Cream, right? I went down to the crossroads, tried to flag a ride. That's kind of our rhythm. But what if I put it in C major? What if I take that rhythm? All of a sudden, I'm playing something that has a great rhythm that breathes because I know it's a great rhythm and a great vocal melody, but I'm applying that rhythm to a brand new situation. As we work on that, we can then expand out and just use that as an influence for how to put those breath patterns into our soloing. Lastly, if you play a wrong note or a note that's outside of the scale that you had intended to play, don't stop, don't correct yourself, don't beat yourself up. Boldly play that wrong note and get your next target note right. That's all that playing outside, which a lot of jazz players talk about, is. I'm playing outside the key, outside the scale. And what makes playing outside sound good is being able to come back inside, which is landing on the next right chord tone. If you feel ready to start soloing over any chord progression, but you need to learn some scales to connect your chord tones, this video is going to have you covered.